Hello, everyone. It's Seth Chandler with Witter in San Francisco. We got some really exciting news to share today. We actually just placed with a local buddy of mine, lives right here in San Francisco, an amazing coin worth over $500,000. And I just wanted to share it with everyone out there so they can understand what it is and what it's all about and what makes it worth over $500,000. So the coin is right here. It is a 1851 $50 gold coin made by Augustus Humbert. So as a lot of y'all know, the San Francisco area was really founded by the gold rush. The gold rush is what started it all. You know, in 1847, there was roughly 1,000 citizens in San Francisco. But a year later, in 1848, when the gold rush started, there was well over 500,000 people that came through the gold fields. Now, what's really cool is there's so much gold coming into the city of San Francisco to be assayed. That basically means all the nuggets they found, all the gold they dug out of the ground, they have to melt it and purify it and get it to 90% fine to make coinage. Or if they were going to make bars out of it, would be 0.99 fine. So the problem was there was no infrastructure, there was no heavy equipment, there was none of that stuff here in the city of San Francisco. But you had this huge demand. You had all these people here that wanted, some form of currency. Remember, this is still the Old West back then. There wasn't much out here. Still Indians run around, especially in the gold fields. So what happened was Congress in 1851 appointed Augustus Humbert, a German-American citizen, basically the title of Chief Assayer of the United States. Okay, so he came out here in 1851. It was a 2-month wagon ride. He brought out a lot of equipment that he utilized to actually assay gold. So once he came out here, he was the official government representative, okay, to assay gold and to make coinage and bars so they could freely circulate, okay? Because, I've always had this saying, people buy into the currency, they buy into the country or the state at the time. So if people accept the gold as being pure, as being fine, it's going to freely trade, and that'll really help the economy. So the San Francisco Mint received funding from Washington. It's a very political event, by the way. Boston wanted their own mint. I think even Washington, D.C. wanted their own mint. It was very hard to get the resolution passed to create a mint in San Francisco. But it happened in 1852, but it took a couple years to build it out. So the U.S. Mint in San Francisco did not open until 1854, which is a good 6 years after the gold rush started. So now you really realize the importance of why the government sent out someone like Augustus Humbert to make coinage that's backed by the U.S. government. But what's interesting is some of the first coins that he's made was a $50 gold coin. I mean, that's insane. We only introduced as a country a $20 gold coin just a year earlier in 1850. So to make a $50 gold coin is a big deal, but it just reiterates the fact how much gold was coming into the gold fields and how quickly they wanted to convert it into some form of currency, of a utilized metal that everyone could participate in. Now, I got this coin in hand, and it's a shocker. I mean, first of all, we have a lot of coins around here, as you see, and I think this is one of the most spectacular coins we've ever handled. The first thing that hits you about is the size of it. It's huge. It's 2.5 ounces of nearly pure gold. It's 90% pure. Very few coins that the U.S. Mint made are like this. I think there's 6 different styles of $50 gold coins. And this is the first one. I think what makes this interesting is it's the first U.S. official $50 gold coin made in 1851. This particular variety is called the leaded edge variety. As you see from the pictures we're posting now, is it has quite a huge rim to it, and it's got a cameo effect. It has a central portrait. It's beautiful. It has an engine turned reverse. Beautiful engraving they've done. But it's the condition. This is PCGS graded, MS63, and it's CAC approved. Now, they've graded a handful of these in uncirculated, not too many, but CAC is only approved 2, 1 in 61 and 1 in 63. PCGS is graded 2, 63 plus, but as of now, those are not CAC approved. So in essence, this is potentially the finest known for this variety, which is a pretty major variety. I think as collectors, these are the type of coins you dream of owning. You see them in like the old auction catalogs. These type of coins have been desired for well over 100 years. It's not a newer coin. It's not a coin that's really a great condition rarity. Even a beat up one is still worth well into 6 figures. So it's always in demand. And I think with a coin like this, it's the finest. We're just really lucky to handle this. At Witter, we handle a lot of cool coins. We never handle enough. And like every day when we handle something like this, you kind of get dreamy with it. You kind of get lost into the coin. You think about what it was like to have one of these in your pocket back in 1851. What was the environment like? You walk into a bar, you start gambling with them. Were there people that had stacks of these? People bought girls, they bought liquor, they gambled, they bought, mining claims, mining equipment. But it's just interesting to think of how something like this was used back then. Imagine having a pocket of $50 gold coins. That's crazy. And then once you start thinking about how they were used as money and how eventually a lot of them were melted or dispersed, you think about how does a coin survive so long, 169 years in such great condition. Because as everyone knows, gold is very, very soft. The minute you use this as money, after a few weeks, it's going to show signs of wear. So to have it so well preserved is just a testament to, day one, people admired this coin and they kept it. It's been saved for generations. The second $50 gold coin that Augustus Humbert produced is called the reeded edge variety. You have an example of that right here. And it's definitely a different design. I would say it's probably about 50% the same. I think what really sets it apart, it has writing, has dialogue around the perimeter of the coin. It says the United States Ask the Office of Gold, San Francisco. So I like this coin because it says the word San Francisco on it. It makes it pretty cool. But it's definitely busier than the reeded edge style, the first coin. The first coin is unbelievable. I think it's more pure. It showcases the central design of the coin versus this is obviously a little bit more marketing to the coin. All the $50 gold coins were successful, but I think when they put the words the United States Ask the Office of Gold, San Francisco, it probably had more influence of, hey, this is the real deal. But that's what we do with coins. We make progress where how they're designed and how consumers actually use them and how they're accepted. Again, I've always said this, like I said earlier, it's just you accept the coins, you accept the economy, you accept that local economy, you accept the country. So this was important to produce these. But yeah, this is it's a lot more common, the reeded edge variety too as well. I would say for every lettered edge $50 gold coin, there's probably 25 of these. So the ratio is about 1 to 25. A decent example of a reeded edge slug probably starts at around $30,000, then goes up from there, versus a decent example of a lettered edge starts at least $100,000. So quite a big difference in terms of rarity. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it.